Hello there everyone, and welcome to another absolutely cray video. And this is going to be a video that's carrying on with the task dialogues that we did last time. Yes, it is another program video. Now I'm recording my camera in 720p, so it won't be as high quality as it was last time. Probably won't notice that much, but just anyway, put some tiny little thing in the corner. I'm still recording 1080p desktop though, because I did notice when I tried to do 720p because I wanted to drop the file size down because it was huge. Okay, I just edit last time. The quality's not very good on 720p, so I'm going to leave it at 1080p. But enough of that. Today we're going to be learning a little bit more about the things you can do with task dialogs. Last time I was looking more about the undocumented icons. Today we're going to be doing more about what you can do. What you can see on the screen right now is a tiny little program that I've made that just goes ahead and brings up another task dialog. But this one is to do with error reporting. I called it foobar because nearly every programmer would like to, it does call that programs foobar. I don't know why. I don't know where foobar came from. When I run the program, it just simply does this. It doesn't do much. It just says foobar.exe has crashed. Please wait while the foobar error reporting finds a solution to the problem. Now, of course, I couldn't call it Windows because it's not Windows error reporting, and I don't know whether Microsoft would class that as against copyright. I mean, I probably would do. So I just called it foobar to be nice, to be kind. Unless I copyrighted the error reporting word, which would be daft. Moving on. So yeah, as you can see, nothing is actually going on. There's a progress bar that isn't moving. There's nothing actually happening. So if you want to know how to hit the progress bar, it's a simple TDF show marquee progress bar flag under the DW flags parameter, which does that. You've got show progress bar and show marquee progress bar. Marquee is the one that just fades across like that. So what I'm going to do now is program a little bit that makes the progress bar actually go across. That's what we'll do to start with. And to do that, it's very simple. You just use that callback method, function I should say. It's not public ordered programming. So I'm going to go on TD callback because I like calling them that. hwind at the handle of the window. And so I need to change the notification. wparam lparam. So I'm trying to type without looking at the keyboard. And then the long pointer that we don't actually use. Okay. And return it's okay. Just going to quickly make sure there's no moaning being done. Because my code loves to moan. Nope, doesn't look like it will be. So if the notification is to do with the dialog being created, then what we want to do, I send a message to the window to say, could you make the progress bar go across? And I believe the message is... Now, I always get confused here. Is it marquee progress bar or progress bar marquee? I think it's the second one because it tells me here. I just realised. All my life when I've been doing task dialogs, I've never realised it actually tells you what the parameters are. Because Microsoft doesn't do that with all of them, so I'm glad that they do that one. What does that one do then? Oh, it just tells it whether or not it's a marquee or not marquee. That's quite useful actually. But anyway, sorry about that. What was the first parameter now? Start or stop. So we want to start, don't we? So yeah, 1 and 20. Actually no, but that's true because I like using the actual words. Okay, so true to set it on, and then 20 is the milliseconds of how long it takes for the progress bar to move across. The less the number, the faster it goes. But I think that's not always the case. The lower it goes, it does go faster, but I believe when it hits to a certain point, it starts going slow again. You have to mess over the number, basically, just to get the correct speed that you want. 20 is normally the appropriate and normal speed. I think Microsoft themselves use something close to 20. I always use 20 though because it's a nice soft animation. So if I go ahead and build that, and one quick thing, you'll notice I'm using Win32 configuration. I'm not using the Time64 one because I don't really need a 64-bit program running. So what's the point? It makes the file size smaller as well. So anything for optimization. So if I run it, there you go, you get a basic progress bar. Now the problem that we've got now is that nothing happens, it's just doing nothing, it's just going across. Now I'm not going to actually program an actual error reporting thingamajig, because one, it wouldn't make a difference if I did do it, because no program is going to show this particular, it's not going to run this program every time it crashes. I suppose I'd have to modify the internal workings of Windows to get that to work right, but I am going to make it so after a couple of seconds it changes the window. And I'm going to show you a cool little technique that Microsoft implemented. First of all, let me implement the timer. The timer is what I was talking about last time, and that is every 200 milliseconds it fires the TDN_timer event, so notification, that you can calculate how long you want the timer to run, so within 200 milliseconds. So for a second, you'd have to wait until the timer hit 1000 milliseconds, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls. I know how to count that. I'm not very good at math. Well, I am good at math. Well, yeah, I'm getting my words mixed up again, guys. I do this all the time. I am good at maths partly, but I do like to count. It does take me a while to understand what I'm saying. So there we go. So 200 milliseconds, right. So what I'm going to do is I'll set the flag here. TDF_ callback timer. There we go. And I set up a new notification check for TDN_timer. As I said, this particular part of the code will call every 200 milliseconds, and I want to, after 3 seconds, for it to change the window. Now 3 seconds is, I really don't want to do the math, so that's going to be 3,000, 200, 15 times. So what I have is a little counter, which I can put up here, and timer count equals 0, and then notification timer. What you want to do is set it so that it does some code checking. So if the timer counter equals 15, then do the code here. Otherwise, to increment that timer. Now, hopefully, hopefully this will work. To do a test, what I'm going to do is make it so a message box is shown. Timer triggered. Hold on a moment. I've got to focus on what I'm typing. Okay, so after 3 seconds, so my batteries are hurting now. After 3 seconds, this message box should be shown, so let's hope to God that my coding's right. So run it, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's a bug. Didn't increment the timer to stop it from doing that, right? What did I call it? There we go. Oh, sorry, that was Task Manager running on the screen. Okay, so that I should have guessed that was going to happen. It hits 15 and the timer continually triggers and we don't actually increment the timer again. So, what I can do is I can make it increment the start. Now the problem with this is it won't be 3 seconds, it will be 2,800, so 2.8 seconds. So what we have to do is increment it by 1 16 times, because that way we can count the first one as 0, even though it's not 0. Which should hopefully still work. 1, 2, 3. Yes, look at that timing. As you can see, nothing else happens now because the time is increased by 1, which makes it not the same. Yes. Right. Now, the cool little trick about what I'm going to do now is I want to change the dialog's contents and take away that progress bar. Now, I could go ahead and be really stupid and make another task dialog config or a normal task dialog, and simply close the current one and open the old one. I'll open the new one rather. 1 second. Well, this is not the time. Otherwise, get out. Go on. My dog has just walked into my room while I'm recording. So I don't want to actually close the current dialog, I want to change its contents, and there is a cool little way of doing that. First of all, let's get rid of that message box that we have. There's a little message you can send to the window that actually is called TDM underscore. There you go. As you can see, there's some setters here. Apart from the progress bar ones, you've got set element text and update element text. Now, there's also TDM navigate page. Now, if I want to just change the text, then I'd use the set element text or the update element text. There is a difference between the two. Let me just find out what that difference is. Task dialog TDM underscore update element text. Oopsie daisy. Let me find out what that one does first. Task element. Nothing text shorter strings that goes up to resize. Right, so update text seems to just change text, but it doesn't modify the box's size. Set element text, I believe. Yes, this one actually does change the dialog's size. So, for example, if I was to do TDM set element text, oops, and if I just put a mouse over there, right. The element that we want to change is, yeah, there you go, TDE, Task Dialog element, I guessed. The content, and we want to change it to something like, actually no, just start. Oh my god, this is a really long piece of text that hopefully will cause the window to resize to accommodate it. Right. So hopefully when I run that, you should see. And there you go. So as you can see, it actually resized the dialog to fit it. And at the end, it's just cut it off because I think there's a maximum height. There might be a maximum height anyway. Oh, no, sorry. It might be because it's just one word, and then it's just realised that it can't chop the word up, so it's just put ... a little ellipsis at the end. I don't know, actually. Could I find that out? Another word at the end of it. Right. It's just because it was one word. Right, yeah. But as you can see, it chopped the text. So, sorry. So, as you can see, it updated the text, but also updated the size of the window. If we use the update element text option, yeah, can't even see. This happens. So as you can see, it's chopped off the bottom of the dialog in order to accommodate it, but it hasn't resized the dialog at all. So you just get this, and now you can't even click on cancel. But you can still press enter because the cancel button is still there. So of course it's always best to use the set one, unless you're doing a shorter string. If it's shorter, then I suppose you could use update. That way the task dialog wouldn't go smaller. Actually, that's a really good question. Would that work? Let me just move that text to here temporarily and make this really tiny amount of text. Now if I use update, it shouldn't make a change at all. See, keeps the dialog the same. But you'll notice that that pushes up. So technically, when I use set, makes the dialog smaller. That's useful. Anyway, undo. Right, we don't actually need this message anymore. What message we do need is the TDM underscore navigate underscore page message, which will allow us to change everything to do with the dialog. Literally, let's just create a new dialog. Now the TDM underscore navigate underscore page message, as it says, recreates a task dialog with new contents, simulating the functionality of a multi-page wizard. Funny thing though, you can't actually make a very good wizard with the task dialog, mainly because you can't make next and back buttons. When you click a button, it closes the window automatically. I don't know whether there's an actual way to stop that, but I don't think there is. I could be wrong. I mean, I suppose we could do a very quick check on the notifications to see if there is a one, but I don't think there is. No, there isn't. I don't think. Oh! There's a TD_ button clicked. Huh. Oh, look at that. I was completely wrong, and that is what I call useful. If you use this notification, you can return the S_false status to make the dialog not close. Which means you could actually make your own little wizard using the using the TDM_navigate page option. Shall we try that? I think we shall. That might be fun. Prepare for problems though, because I haven't done it before. Now this requires the usage of a new Task Dialog config constructor. So what you do is a bit of trickery here. Right. There we go. Make a new Task Dialog. Oops, dialog config. CFG new.psz window title equals error reporting. CFG new.psz main instruction equals crashed. Do you want to send an error report? Question mark. Well, actually, we could put that in the content. It probably make more sense to do that. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. Config dot content equals. Whoops. Come on, Visual Studio, what are you doing? Yeah. Oh. That. We'll get there eventually. What else am I going to put in? Buttons. Yes. No. Now, technically, I'd normally put a different callbacks for the different pages, but I think I might be allowed to use the same one. It's being a bit tricky. Well, it's not moaning at me, so that's good. What I could do is I could put a little integer here and go wizard step, which could be incremented every time we navigate. So what we could do here and go wizard step plus. Okay, and then what we could do is check for a notification of when it actually did navigate. So if the wizard step equals 1, hang on. Right, I'll leave that for now. What we'll do is we'll make another notification, and that is for when the button is clicked to return S_false, only if wizard step is equal to 2, for example. Okay. Oh, so it does not equal 2. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. Right. Now, I'm just wondering whether that's going to work so far. We've already got an error. Wow, that's great. That's because I'm an idiot. Not using Unicode. That's good. Right, there we go. So now if we try this, sorry if I haven't really explaining it much because I'm trying to think of what I'm writing out. But this is what happens. So there you go. As you can tell, it changed the dialogue, but without actually closing and reopening the dialogue to make it look like a proper wizard. Now, if I click yes or no, as you can see, it doesn't close, and I can't even use the close method. Wow, that's good for malware, I suppose. Okay, so What we have to do now is set up so that when the button is clicked, another navigation happens. So we technically don't need a TDN underscore navigated one, do we? We could just move that code to the button click. Yes, that would make sense. So if the wizard step equals 1, that means they just the progress bar has gone through and it's changed to the new dialog that we just configured here. I'm going to go ahead and remove that comment. It's a bit boring. Right. So if the wizard step is 1, then when they press the button, we're going to detect what button was pressed. I do believe. There you go. Look, W param equals button ID. One sec. The dog wants to go. Go on. So if the wizard step is 1, what we want to do is check the button ID to see whether it was yes or no. And if it's yes, go to a certain page. If it's no, go to another. Or close. We can make it close. We make it close, I make it close. So if W param equals ID yes, that means that they press the yes button. And we're on step 1 of the wizard, which is the one after step 0, which is the progress bar. Let's go ahead and make another task dialog config and change the dialog to sent, even though it hasn't actually sent anything. And you normally would have another progress bar going along, but who cares? I don't really care. So copy and paste because I'm really lazy. Oh, we're not going to use the same variable name, even though you shouldn't, because we're out of scope. So call it successfully sent error report. Should remove the dot from there as well because it's an instruction. It doesn't look right with having dots in it. Oh, sorry, there should be a question mark there. I'm an idiot. Foobar. Oops. Error reporting has successfully sent the error report. An OK button. And also on this one, I'm just going to have a oops. Allow dialog translation. There we go. Put it on both. Okie dokie, there we go. Fixing that error. And now, as you can see, we'll increment the step again, so that becomes 2, so nothing else happens after that. Also, once it hits 2, this will return SOK, allowing the dialog to close. So if I was to run that now, there we go. And if I press no, does it actually close? No, it doesn't. We'll probe on that next. If I press yes, however, dialog closes. Sorry, what? Of course. Wizard step gets incremented as soon as the button's pressed. So what happens? This call goes ahead and says, it's okay, let's close that window. I am an idiot. That should be 3, sorry, not 2, because we've got to accommodate that click of the button. Also, I'm just going to put a little check here. If the W param equals ID no, actually no, just put else, it doesn't really matter. Then allow closing of the window. So return yes, okay. What I would like to try though, actually let me just cancel that out. Only because I want to try something. If I press the close button, oh my god, I can't close it! That is quite good. Oh, there you go, look. Fixing that problem though, did fix that issue. And now I can't click OK. Right, don't worry, we'll sort that problem out. Bugs galore. So yeah, just return out as OK if no was pressed or anything other than no was pressed. If the wizard step is not 3, then also return S false. Technically that should have worked though. Not quite entirely sure what's going on. Of course, I'm an idiot. Sorry, 1 second. I know what's going on. Hold on. My programming side of my brain's going through my head right now. If I return SOK anyway, would the navigate page take over? Or would it still close the window? Still close the window. So we do need to return S-false. Right, that's okay then. Microsoft wouldn't really have implemented that feature if it wasn't required, I suppose. So we do need to now tell it that only on Wizard Step 1 should it return S-false and no case to start with. And also, we have to implement the callback into this one, into this config, because we want to make sure that the thing is returned, I think. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, guys. It's fine, John. Yes, that was right then. I'm a bit confused there. There's no callback. It was actually implementing this callback. Or was it? That's confusing me now. Either way, it works. So implement the callback on all of your things once you've done it. And yeah, that's about it. That's implementing a thingamajig. As you can see, do you want to send an error report? No, closes the window. If you press yes, it says successfully sent error report. So there we go. And if you click close, you can, as you can see, we can cancel it now. So I'm going to leave this code up. I'm going to slowly scroll down. So just this is for you guys to use and see and understand. As I said in my previous video, if you don't understand anything, and I haven't explained it properly, because I know I'm not very good at explaining things in that sense anyway, then do go ahead, search up the functions, see what they do, work it out in your head. That's the way I learned programming. I don't just go, what's happening, no one's telling me what's going on. I don't do that. I mean, I do to start with, but then I'm just like, no, I'm going to find it out myself. I don't really like looking at tutorials. I like to find it out all myself. So that's what really I suggest people do with programming. Just go ahead, go online, search what the functions do, see what they're doing, see why I'm doing it in that way, and eventually you'll get it. Trust me, it'll take maybe a week or two if you're good at understanding things quickly. If you're not good at understanding things, then do have a look at some other tutorials maybe, but I would really suggest just work it yourself. Trust me, just find some time in your life. You'll find it good. So I'm going to start scrolling now. As you can see, it's quite simple. I'm still a bit confused as to why no callback was causing it to not close. Because if there's no callback, then surely none of this code would apply anymore. Unless navigate page incorporates the last callback that was used. Which makes probably more sense as well, because it's useful. But there you go, guys. That's really all I needed to show you for that particular thing. So yeah. Ta-da! And of course you can implement other things such as radio buttons. I can make a radio button, say choose an option, click next, and it will go to the next page of the wizard. There's all sorts of things you can do. In fact, to do with radio buttons, yes, there you go, click radio button. I was looking for a message to pick them up. There you go, int value, that's why I do the radio button, be clicked, that must be 0. I wonder why it's not the other way around. Why isn't L param the one that's meant to be clicked? What's the difference between W param and L param? I've always wondered that. I'll find out. Oh. No. I'll find out, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, love. So I'll see you then later then, guys. How long have we been recording? 31 minutes. Well, it's slightly better than yesterday's, but it's still going to be a long upload. Oh well. Should have been then. Bye for now, and I'll see you next video. Have a good day, week, month, and year. Toodle pip. Bye. they're very simple. They've been in since Vista, and they've all gone all up to Windows 10. Very useful. They look nice. They're an alternative to the message box API that's been in Windows since the dot. And today I want to show you some the standard task dialog, and then I want to go into some more hidden stuff.